everyone. Welcome back to Sin City Crypto. My name is David. I'll be one of your co-hosts. And on today's show, we're discussing a lot of things. And those things include the ARK Invest Bitcoin Spot ETF has officially been delayed. What does that mean? Are we waiting on Grayscale? We have news on that. Also, we have footage of Sam Bankman-Fried. Is he going to jail today? There's very high possibility that he is. We're also discussing Shiba Inu and the ecosystem. Is SHIB gearing up for mass adoption? And also Aptos partners with Microsoft, amongst other things. But first, here is your other co-host, Big Rob. What's up, man?
You all right, bro?
You got mad because I don't call you Big Rob, so there you go.
I didn't get mad. Jason got mad.
You obviously were bothered by it. That's why he brought it up.
No, he brought up a valid point. He was like, what happened to your nickname? And I was like,
Where'd you buy that shirt, H&M?
They're out of business.
They're out of business? Exactly. Anyways, go ahead.
It's your boy, Big Rob, back in the house. Welcome to Sin City Crypto. It is your boy, Big Rob. Big Rob here, bro.
My bad, sorry.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Now, put some emphasis on my name, baby.
Yeah.
All right, so if you're first time checking us out, we are an entertainment-focused cryptocurrency channel where we take old, boring, stale information, repackage it up, fun and sexy way. Your boy's juiced up, man. And also, Bitcoin's still at 29.3. That's not juiced up. A lot of consolidation there. I heard that Sam Bankman-Fried is in jail. Is he in jail?
He's not in jail.
He's in court?
He's in court. Potentially could go to jail. Is today the day? Today's the day.
What's the over-under on him going to jail today?
52.5. Wait, what?
The over-under.
There's no over-under in him going to jail. There's a money line.
Okay. What's the money line?
I'd say going to jail plus 180.
Why'd you say jail like Donald Trump? Jail.
Anyways, before we bring on our third co-host, I want to give a shout out to channel sponsor Cam's Blue Wire Technology. If you own a business and you want to make sure that your networking, IT, and your cybersecurity are up to date, the best of the best, there's no better company to guide you through that than Cam's Blue Wire Technology. For more information, visit bluewiretech.com or click the link in the description of this video. Now, today is Friday, my favorite day of the week, and that is because I don't have to just deal with Robin. I get one of my favorite people on here as well. The only day of the week where you get three co-hosts, and that is none other than our man, Forrest, Rockwell's Benjamin. Forrest.
What's up, guys? Thanks for having me on.
Hey, man. Second time this week, bro. I love it. Thank you so much for joining us. How have you been?
Doing well. Can't complain. Pretty busy week in the NFT ecosystem, but other than that, just been trading, keeping track of the charts, and yeah, it's been going pretty well.
My man, are you still in SHIB? Because SHIB is just burned to zero, and we're actually talking about SHIB today. You called SHIB last week on the show.
Yeah. So I got the bulk of that trade in, and then I bought the retracement and took some profits, and I got back in this morning. Had a really solid trade today, profitable trade, and then jumped back in on my live stream earlier today. Unfortunately, that order that I set was actually much smaller sizing than I intended it to be. So I am up on that trade, but not as much as I would like to be because SHIB is breaking out right now, or it's kind of pushing upwards, making a new local high. So bummer there, but we got the stop set in profit. So, a profitable trade is better than a negative trade. So we'll take it.
Amen to that, bro. We'll take every piece we can get in a bear market. Now,
100%.
Usually I have pretty good segues, but I don't have a good segue to this one. It's just, we usually try to check in on our commander-in-chief here, President Joseph Robinette Biden. And so, well,
can't be a Friday without the, are you going to make fun of Joe Biden?
Of course we are.
Okay.
Now, here's a video. So we know Joe has a track record of shaking hands with air and with ghosts and random people. And now apparently he's shaking hands with his own staff. And so here is live footage, well, not live, but video footage of President Joe Biden now realizing that he is asking to meet the very man that protects his life. Just this guy here, just look, he's like, all right, come on.
He's like, what's your name, son? He's like, I've been working for you for 4 years.
You want an autograph? Oh, man. Okay, God, oh my God. Guys, You remember when the lockdowns happened 3 years ago? Of course you remember. And then, people, the masks, and then some people went overboard. Well, we have a compilation of some of the best ones, and this is it's a good one.
Is that a clothes hamper?
That is a hamper. It gets better, don't worry. Guys, let's enjoy this.
Okay. Clothes hamper, okay. It's like one of those see-through bags that you take to there. Right?
Hold on. That is a car filter.
Is that a car radiator?
That's a filter. It's a car filter.
No, I like the one that you skip, the one with the olives.
Oh my God. Okay, let's keep playing this. Then we have brown bag. We have a birthday hat. We have a water bottle.
Okay, this one.
We have astronauts.
I remember when they first had
What
the
is this?
the mask mandates and the masks were in shortage or whatever it was. I saw a mom and daughter dressed up as the Easter bunnies, bro. Like it was like a pair of Easter bunnies, bro, at Home Goods.
People were.
And they
Oh
were
my
buying
God.
toilet paper, I guess.
And then we have a bucket with. Hold on. Are those filters too? Those filters. Hold on.
They don't even have anything over their face. The astronauts.
That's what I'm saying, dude. Look at what are these? Are these filters?
It's water filters, I think. That's when you purify the water.
He
Like
took-
Those
that.
are like the
He
reverse
took
osmosis.
apart his
Yeah,
reverse
the reverse
osmosis
osmosis
system.
filter. Like, you
Honey,
can
what
use
happened to
water.
our water filters? Well, honey, got to make sure we stay safe. And then I don't know what the hell this even is. A bucket. And then so we have Scuba Steve. Dinosaur.
Scuba Steve.
A sponge.
What?
This one,
Is that a sponge?
the sponge was the best
Oh,
because
the
you can clean at the same time and breathe. You can do two things. at
Yeah, that
once.
is a sponge, guys. You just got to make sure you don't put the spiky side to your mouth because that might hurt. And then we have this mesh bag. Yeah,
That's the most efficient one.
well, definitely. What is your favorite one you saw today, guys?
I
That's
like,
my favorite.
I like the mesh one's a good one
The mesh one?
because you can take it off and put groceries in it too.
Forrest, if you had to pick one to protect your health, which one would you pick?
Yeah, I'd probably go scuba diving. That's just nice, clean oxygen.
Solid.
You're fully protected. You're probably sweating like crazy in there, but it's a
Solid.
good little workout too.
I really, really like the car filter. I think, being able to maximize use potential of certain items in your house and your car, I think is a really good thing. We also have this. This was kind of funny. So he's winding up the dog, and then bam. And, all right. And then I believe I have one more. Oh, here we go. So a visual representation of the guy on the left, my money in the bank, and the guy doing whatever the hell he's doing in the background represents my money in crypto. And what is that?
Volatility.
Yeah. Yeah, it's great. All right. Now, on to some actual news. So everyone's been wondering, are we going to have the fight, the Elon versus Mark Zuckerberg fight? Elon said is having back issues, got an MRI. Apparently his MRI is fine. And Elon just tweeted this morning. The fight will be managed by my and Zuck's foundations, not the UFC. Live stream will be on this platform, X, Twitter, and Meta. Everything in camera frame will be ancient Rome, so nothing modern. I spoke to the Prime Minister of Italia and the Minister of Culture. They have agreed on an epic location, wink, wink, the Colosseum. Everything done will pay respect to the past and present of Italy, and all proceeds go to veterans. Now, does anyone really think Elon's going to win? Come on.
Here's the thing. Elon just had a interview. He had an interview at some point like last week, and he was saying that if he's not worried. He was trying to boost himself up in the short term. He's like, yeah. He's like, I got this. But then he showed signs of concern because he is not sure about his endurance. He said he doesn't know how long he can go because he weighs 300 pounds. And I was like, dude, does he actually weigh 300 pounds? Because he's like 6 foot, right?
He kind of looks like he weighs 300 pounds. Yeah.
So 10 years older, weighing in at 300 pounds against somebody that's been training for years.
Zuckerberg is literally a black belt in Brazilian jiu-jitsu, guys. I'm sorry. I love Elon. I don't like Mark Zuckerberg.
Is there
but
and I say this joking, but at the same time, I'm really not. Do you think that there is a chance that Elon Musk can put that computer chip in his head, the neuro chip thing?
it's not even
Download
ready.
Kung Fu.
No, I'm
Watch some
serious.
Jackie Chan movies.
He said, "I'm serious." Come on,
I'm
man.
serious.
Stop it.
It is in
Bro, stop
development.
it.
They have the technology. They just haven't put it in humans yet. Do you think there's a world where Elon's all like, "Give me the juice," and he just plugs it
Oh,
in?
puts it into his own brain.
That's what I'm
Oh, I
saying.
thought you said put
Yeah.
it into Zuckerberg's brain.
And that's
I
how he
mean-
launches the product and gets a bunch of sales. He
And
beats
then let's
Zuckerberg.
just
What
say-
better way, right?
Let's
Marketing?
just say like he gets into the ring and it's like the Matrix. He's just like just like dodging all those Zuckerberg's punches. He's like and then he wins and he was like, just wanted y'all to know I used the chip. You
Yeah.
can buy it. It launches in 2 months.
FDA approved. Guys, put a 1 if you think Elon's gonna win. Put a 2 if you think Mark Zuckerberg's gonna win. I don't know how
I will
anyone
say
could
though, if they were boxing, I would give it to Elon Musk because he's taller, has a longer reach, and more weight. But because
the
it's gonna be
guy's
mixed,
gonna wear out in
But
in 2
because
minutes.
it's mixed martial arts, all Zuck has to do is shoot for his midsection, and that's it, man. Like he's gonna lose balance, he's gonna
I'm just
fall
saying,
over.
bro,
and
even
that's
if it was boxing, after like a round and a half, Elon's gonna be gassed, bro. Anyways, speaking of gas, we have this piece of news: Texas to offer tax exemptions to Bitcoin mining that uses flared gas. This is sourced from Bloomberg. You guys feel like we're finally seeing a shift in narrative? The whole ESG thing's kind of fallen by the wayside. BlackRock has now officially stepped in and is pretty much promoting Bitcoin. Have we turned the corner on Bitcoin mining FUD and Bitcoin is bad for the energy, Forrest?
I think you're seeing a shift, and my tinfoil hat is that once we saw BlackRock come out and apply for a Bitcoin ETF, BlackRock owns a lot of companies, and they control the narrative and they control a lot of people. It's funny that as soon as we saw that, we start seeing like some positive news, a study that came out of MIT.
Yep.
That explained why Bitcoin's actually good for the environment. It's just interesting timing. I think they're trying to make their next dollar off of Bitcoin, which will obviously benefit the liquidity in the crypto space as a whole. I don't trust them in the long term. I'm not a big fan of BlackRock, but I know this isn't about BlackRock, but that's just my theory. I think BlackRock's in, and they're going to start driving news cycles and driving media and driving the narrative to be pro Bitcoin. And they are super, like, they're the ESG asset manager. They're like the super woke asset manager and environmentally friendly investing. So I think if they are launching this Bitcoin ETF, they've got to reframe the narrative that Bitcoin is bad for the environment into a narrative that Bitcoin is good for the environment.
Yeah, for me, I take a look at Larry Fink. He's come out and said, like, I don't like using the term ESG anymore. And so is that thing falling by the wayside? Who knows, Robin? What are your thoughts?
I think that there's just a rally against ESG to the point to where it is negative, right? I haven't heard any positive, whether it's in CNBC, whether it's in crypto world, whether it's on X. I haven't heard anything positive about ESG. And wasn't that the premise behind it, was to rally the people that were Greenpeace and movement? I don't even think those people are endorsing, right? People that want to reduce their carbon footprint, because the people that have high ESG scores are the ones that are contributing the most carbon to the world globally. Now, I'm not even big on this subject, but I'm just saying, hey, the green people ain't even down with the green movement called ESG, because it isn't exactly that. There's more to it. It also has what is it, like rights for inclusion on different races, and there's a lot of other factors in there. So it's not even just green. And so for that reason, I think that it's lost its allure. It's lost its original premise, which was to be the gold standard for how a company operates, both with the carbon emissions and also diversity. And I think that is lost. And I think that there's no saving that reputation. And BlackRock, they recognize it, and so they're just scrapping it. That's my opinion.
But what are they going to fight about if they can no longer say Bitcoin's bad for the environment? Who knows?
I mean, you can still say that, but you just don't need to tout your ESG as a better alternative. You can't sit here and say Bitcoin's bad. We need this ESG because people don't believe in that either at this point. That's where I'm getting at.
Guys, we do have footage of fan favorite Sam Bankman-Fried. Well, what is he doing? Well, he's stepping out of a car. And, well, where's he going? Let's find out. Looks like he got a haircut, by the way. He's going to court. Now, you might be asking, why is this man going to court? Well,
I also have footage of him as well.
Really? Okay.
Rocky, you want to pull this one up here? So he was at the pool.
Get the hell out of here.
That is, oh, no, my bad. That's a sea urchin. My bad. Excuse me. But
The back hair.
it's a sea urchin, guys. My bad. Wrong one. Damn it.
Yeah. What the hell is that?
It's a sea urchin.
What the hell is even that? That video? I don't know if you guys might want to talk about. But there is a reason why Sam is in the courthouse. CNBC reports U.S. judge will decide Friday, which is today, whether to send Bankman-Fried to jail over alleged witness tampering. A New York judge will decide on Friday during a hearing that starts at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So it starts right now. It's going on right now. Whether to send Sam to jail. Federal prosecutors have asked U.S. District Judge Lewis Kaplan to revoke the FTX founder's bail over alleged witness tampering. If Kaplan sides with the government, Sam will be remanded to custody directly from a court hearing in Manhattan, where he would remain ahead of his criminal trial due to begin October 2nd. And also, the judge previously issued a direct and stern warning to Sam Bankman-Fried in July over his conversations with the media. Remember, guys, he was sending emails and messages on Signal to people like Ryan Salami and all the other big executives in FTX and trying to, work together to come up with a story they can all share. So any commentary on this, gentlemen? You think Sam's going to jail? You think, what are your thoughts?
I think when you have a lawyer team, how much did he spend on his lawyers? Like it was
a lot.
It was.
I don't know the exact number.
It was like over $10 million so far, so something along those lines. We're gonna look it up here in a minute. But anyways, the dude's got the lawyer. There's no way he's gonna go to jail for witness tampering with the lawyer team he has. Now, whether or not he goes to jail for the charges involving FTX, I think it's likely. I do think he's going to get a slap on the wrist, maybe do 5 years or something along that lines. That's my personal opinion. But for this particular, with his defense team that he has, he ain't going to go to jail.
Forrest, thoughts?
Yeah, I agree with Rob. I think rich people, wealthy people, don't usually go to jail, and if they do, they don't really go for a long period of time. And if they do, then they get a pretty cushy jail sentence. So yeah, I mean, I'm in that camp. I mean, he's well connected. He's wealthy. His parents are wealthy. He probably does
vegan.
less time than he.
And he's vegan.
And it's not a violent crime. Like if it's a violent, like if it was murder or something like that, like yeah, it's hard to get out of that one.
He did murder, just not people. He murdered people's money.
I'm just curious, when he was in Jamaica.
Bahamas,
yeah, sorry. When he was in the Bahamas, when he was in the jail there, and he said he could only have the vegan diet, what do you think the guards there were thinking? Like, well, we don't, we have grass. Like, what do you want? Like,
they threw a barrel of hay in there.
I'm just saying, like,
yeah, I don't know. Orrin Bowers said he's getting a job at the Treasury.
All right, speaking of Orrin, we have a few new people. Orrin as well. We
Orrin's
have
not
Vincente, Young Bernie, Crypto Zero, Eric Wallen, Swashbuckling Scallywag, who said we have a clear picture. 4K brought to you by Cans Blue Wire Tech. And then we also have JC Denton. So, also VIP Made TV. So, to all of you, hola! Welcome to Sin City Crypto. Do us a favor. Guys, hit the like button. We are at 60 likes and 160 viewers. That means we are just shy above, or just slightly above 30% like ratio. It means 70% of you do not like this show.
Wow.
Or at least have not put your stamp of approval by hitting the like button.
Help us out, guys.
Yeah, help us out. We'll open up the club at 175. That's been our limit for the last couple of days. Haven't quite got there. We've had over 175 people, actually over 200 people watching. And so if we could rally the like button, we could get there. So
speaking of helping us out, Before we get into the markets, today's market segment is brought to you by channel sponsor iTrust Capital. If you plan on holding, hodling, not touching your Bitcoin, your Ethereum, or XRP gains, and you want to enjoy those tax-free in retirement, you're going to want to set up a Roth IRA account. And the only company to go with, in my opinion, is the largest one. It's like going with Chainlink when it comes to oracles, right? They're the gold standard. So is iTrust Capital in that space. If you use the link in the description of this video, you will receive a free $100 once you fund your account. Now, let's take a look at where is BTC, ETH, and everything else. Rocco? So, cryptocurrency market cap, $1.17 trillion, which is down about 0.33%. 24-hour volume, 23.8 billion, pretty low. Bitcoin dominance still under 50%. ETH dominance still under 20%, now under 19% officially. Man, Forrest, I can't imagine. You're a TA guy, and you've just been looking at Bitcoin bounce around between 29.3 and 29.5. How do you stay sane? And has anything changed on the charts? Should we go down to like the 30-second time frame, or?
Yeah, we can zoom in a little bit today on the 5, 10, 15-minute time frames, but Bitcoin's been very low volatility ultimately, and I can share my screen here in just a second. Ultimately, the catalyst for Bitcoin there's two catalysts, right? There's the Bitcoin ETF approval, and then there's the Bitcoin halving. Let me share my screen here. All right, so we're looking at the Bitcoin chart zoomed in on the 15-minute. So we actually talked about this trade as well on the live stream. It's slightly in profit. There's a key margin pressure level here, downtrend level, whatever. We'll get rid of that. I mean, volatility's been low. If we zoom out to like the 4-hour, we lost our range, right? And we have this key pivot level at around 30K. That's our psychological level. Now we're just ranging between the 10x long margin pressure level and the 30K psychological level. We have broken the shorter term downtrend level, but the two narratives are the Bitcoin halving, which is a ways away still. That's still probably 8 months away. No, getting closer, but still a while until we get there. And then we have the Bitcoin spot ETF. Both of those things I do think are very constructive for Bitcoin's price. We talked briefly, I believe, on Wednesday about maybe some bank closures, could spark a narrative for Bitcoin. But I want to be very careful about that narrative because it just depends on how bad those bank insolvencies actually are. If they're really, really bad and people are actually losing funds and it gets really scary, then all risk assets could potentially not perform well. We'll see if Bitcoin reacts positively to that or not. But yeah, I think it's a bunch of people just sitting around trading the ranges, right? We lose the range, trading the ranges, just waiting for Bitcoin to either run into this trend line, in which case, maybe we see a nice big reaction, or just waiting for a Bitcoin spot ETF approval, which could take months. So we'll see. Right now, we are in this bullish ascending triangle, right? If I kind of outline that, we would expect you would ideally, the way you trade these is you just long the third touch, right? So we haven't actually made the third touch yet, but we are approaching what would be the third touch. So this was the first one. This is the second. We'd be looking for a third touch somewhere around here in the crux of these two trend lines, the intersection of those two trend lines. And then you target either the top of the range as your initial take profit target. We tighten that stop loss up, right? Or in this case, I'd probably target the top of this ascending wedge. Now, this is a bearish ascending wedge. If we zoom out to the daily and we look at these two, I'll get rid of that trend line. We look at these two trend lines, right? We'd want to target the top of that. And this is a bearish ascending wedge, but we could move up to 34, 35, 36K before this does even play out. And it doesn't even have to play out. Sometimes you get a bearish ascending wedge, and historically for Bitcoin, this happened a couple of times. You get a bearish ascending wedge, like you did over here, and you break out to the upside of it very, very aggressively. So just because we are in a bearish ascending wedge doesn't mean that we can't break out to the upside. It's just something to be aware of. But yeah, pretty straightforward for Bitcoin. I'm very cautious to long anything that is. There we go. I'm very cautious to long anything above this trend line, this 10x long margin pressure level at about 28.9 thousand dollars. Let me just make sure that's right. Yeah, 28.9 is where we've held support recently. It's, where we've got confluent support. If we break down below this, we've got levels to target, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. Until then, I am going to be looking for long opportunities. Yep, go ahead.
With these, if you look back just on a yearly Bitcoin's price action on the year, like in the last 12 months, you'll see that when it consolidates into a new price range, it's been 2 to 3 months. You see any reason why this wouldn't do the exact same thing and have 2 to 3 months? Do you think we could maybe see a shorter or longer consolidation before you get a big move? I mean, I know that's kind of dependent on, external factors like you said, the ETF, but I don't know. I just feel like it's a foregone conclusion for myself. I don't know the way I'm looking at it that we're going to do the 2 to 3 months at this price range.
Yeah, we're about 50 days into it right now. A lot of these little spurts are about, these smaller consolidations are about 20 to 30 days, and then you get a move, and then you're still kind of in the same range. But yeah, 60 to 90 days. This one was just, it was about 89, 90 days before a large move. You had some kind of shorter term ranges in here, like we're seeing right now. This one was about 30 days, and we've been in this one for about another 30 days. We would be expecting to move into this trend line. We're at, again, 60 days. We're expected to move into this trend line in the next 7 to 10 days or so. So that would be kind of the time frame that I'm looking at for something interesting to happen. Again, if I throw this trend line, the downtrend line that we just broke, back in here, we broke through the top of it. Wouldn't surprise me to see some sort of strong action on this trend line, just because that's where we've got I'll throw on the 21-week simple moving average. That's where we've got our 21-week simple moving average coming in. So that would be about a 70, 75-day consolidation, which is, pretty in par with what you're saying, 75, 90, 100 days before a larger move. I think we could be coming up on that kind of time frame. But the main thing that I'm looking at is the 21-week simple moving average, which is coming into this range. All of this support down here, 2 trend lines intersecting, and our main trend line here, uptrend line intersecting. I think you'll find a lot of people wanting to bid there. I think we very likely get a bounce. And if we break through it, it's pretty easy to just change our biases to be bearish until we get a Bitcoin ETF.
Yeah. Forrest, we haven't looked at Ethereum in a while. Can we take a peek at ETH? I feel like that's kind of been bouncing around the same kind of region as well.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not too indifferent from, or not too dissimilar from Bitcoin. Now, apologies, I don't have my levels labeled nicely. I just have them very faintly in there. But you can see the levels of confluence here. We're looking at a very similar thing where we broke our downtrend. We're trying to make some support on top of it. We have the general uptrend line coming through here. We have our 21-week simple moving average that we're just kind of chopping along, kind of holding resistance. We have quite a nice bundle of support between 1824 all the way down to 1756. Which is nice. I think there's asymmetric risk reward for longs here, but it could pay to just wait for a tighter entry. This was a trade setup that I talked about last week before we broke this trend line. Was just something like this: stop loss below the trend line, entry at around 1824. So far, we've popped up. That trade would be in profit, and the target would be like 1950 or so. These two levels up here. Nothing too crazy. And then, of course, if we break out to the upside, we can go much higher. But if we zoom out on ETH, I think it's important to note that let's get the easy bands off. And maybe we might even look at the weekly here. So basically, with Ethereum, you just have this big ascending triangle, which is a bullish pattern. This is just all accumulation. You have your bear market bottom, and you're just seeing tighter and tighter accumulation, but the general trend is still upwards, right? The general trend is still upwards, and then we have this big gap here. And when we end up breaking out of this accumulation range, as long as we break out to the top or to the upside, I think we actually see quite a big move. Now, I will say this could, the more bearish scenario is, I'm going to draw some terrible lines here, but a rotation back down to the bottom of the range. I don't think this is not my base case, right? But this just turns into a longer accumulation period going into the next halving, and then we break out to the upside. But yeah, those are terrible, terrible lines. I'll get rid of that again. But yeah, in general, ETH, bullish. I think you're waiting, just similar to how we're waiting for Bitcoin to break 32K. We really just want to see, and I'll thicken that up a little bit. We really just want to see Ethereum take out 2000. We had a short deviation here, right? But we just want to see this build up in this ascending triangle, and we just want to see a breakout above like 2200. Then we probably want to target some of these levels up here around 2700 to even as high as 3600. I don't think 3600 is off the table. If we get a Ethereum futures ETF and a Bitcoin spot ETF, you're gonna want some exposure to both Bitcoin and Ethereum and just crypto in general. Just really winding up here, just low volatility, consolidation, slow grind upwards, and then eventually we should break out. It's just a matter of which direction, and we'll just prepare for either one.
Awesome. Thank you for that, Forrest. I do want to swap over to the crypto boublés. As on the daily, we have a couple big losers. Hex minus 8.5%. GMX down 8.2%. XDC down 6.8%. Some in the green include Shiba Inu, which is what we're going to be talking about here in a little bit. Thorchain and Frax shares is also in the green. Now let's move from the green to the yellow, because green is go, red is stop, and yellow is caution, as the SEC has cautioned that we are delaying ARK Invest ETF. So this is a tweet from a friend of the channel, James Seyfert, who's a ETF analyst at Bloomberg. As expected, we have a delay letter from the SEC on the ARK Invest spot ETF filing. August 13th was the day, but because that falls on a Sunday, well, a lot of people were expecting this news to drop after the market closed, but it actually dropped before the market even opened, I believe. So it says, notice a delay. This is a standard delay letter. There's some confusion, but only the first few paragraphs of this letter are written by the SEC and is very standardized. The rest is just a copy-paste. Here is the 4 things that the SEC is asking for comments on. So let's zoom out here. What are the commenters' view on whether the proposed ETF would be susceptible to manipulation? That is the basis of what they have denied every single spot ETF on, is manipulation. Based on data, and number 2, based on data analysis provided and the academic research, do commenters agree with the exchange that the CME represents a regulated market of significant size? Okay, so they're worried about size of the market. Number 3, the exchange states that Bitcoin is resistant to price manipulation and other means to prevent fraudulent and manipulative acts and practices exists to justify dispensing with the requisite surveillance sharing agreement. So that's the other thing. And number 4, it says, again, on the surveillance sharing agreement with Coinbase, and I believe it is asking for more information based on the description of the surveillance sharing agreement as provided by, and I think that's where he kind of cut it off. Oh, no. What are the views of such an agreement if finalized? Do commenters agree with the exchange's assertion that such an agreement with Coinbase would be helpful in detecting, investigating, and deterring fraud? So more of the same of what we've seen. Now, this is not a denial. This is a delay. But I want to piggyback that off of this article. This is from The Block. Pending Grayscale ruling could tip balance in race for Bitcoin ETF. Experts say a looming court case or court ruling and questions posed by the SEC could make all the difference when it comes to the Grayscale lawsuit. A final ruling in a lawsuit brought by Grayscale against the SEC last year for rejecting its proposal to convert its GBTC into a spot ETF could play a role, said Nathan Garachi, president of the ETF store, which sounds like a, those Disney stores. What are they called? Gift shops. The SEC will wait until there is a final ruling in the Grayscale lawsuit, which could come any day now. So to me, that makes sense. Why approve or deny anything before you get the judge's ruling on Grayscale? He goes on to say, quote, in that scenario, the SEC would have much more cover to continue denying spot ETFs if, of course, Grayscale loses. Why approve a spot Bitcoin ETF until they know the outcome of that case? There's simply no reason to do so. In my opinion, gentlemen, I'm not going to ask you if you're surprised about the delay because I think every single person here was expecting it. But do you agree with this gentleman here that we're not going to get any approval or denial until Grayscale gets sorted out?
I think that makes sense, but by the SEC and how they're supposed to operate, they're not supposed to pay attention to this, right? You can't look at a pending court case as a reason to apply or deny. Now, whether or not it actually influences behind closed doors, that's a different subject. But you can't really speculate on what on a court case that it hasn't been judged on yet, and then make your decisions off of that by saying, hey, we're going to deny.
It makes sense though, right? Because
I mean, it makes sense from a kind of a brainstorm water cooler talk. But like, look, man, it ain't until this Grayscale ruling's over. They're not going to decide on anything. But if it pops off in the Grayscale's favor, then SEC has no leg to stand on, right? They can't deny him anymore,
that's what
right?
I'm saying. But if it rules in SEC's favor, they can just come out and deny. Say the same thing.
But no, well, here's the thing. Even if it goes if it goes in the SEC's favor, I guess it still makes sense that they could approve like the BlackRock ETF. The Grayscale ruling is different. So
I think we all think BlackRock's going to get it. Now, what is the SEC going to do? What kind of word salad are they going to throw in there to be able to justify approving BlackRock and not approving the rest of them? Forrest, what are your thoughts? Do you think that they will wait for Grayscale before they either approve or deny a spot ETF?
Yeah, I think logically it makes sense. Again, I agree with Rob, and I don't know the rules behind whether or not you can look at another court case. It doesn't sound like reasonable, but it is at the same time kind of logical that's what they would want to wait for. If they can delay, and Gensler has any say in it, I think Gensler is going to delay as long as possible, right? As long as they can, which would be around 240 days. But maybe and hopefully we get an acceptance before then. I don't think that we'll get a rejection before then. But again, I'm not an ETF expert. We'll leave that to the ETF experts that have been on the show. But I mean, my stance on this since BlackRock applied for one is that BlackRock gets what BlackRock wants. They have a crazy record. I think they're 255-1 on ETF approvals. So I'm not gonna fade that record. I'm not gonna fade the data, and I'm not gonna fade the people with the most money.
Try like 546-1.
Okay, there you go. So it's just and this is why I'm so bullish on crypto for the next year or two. Yes, there's risk of recession. There's all these other risks in the meantime, but it's like once BlackRock gets their ETF, they are going to be marketing this thing so hard. It's going to be so good for the price of Bitcoin, which is going to be so good for the liquidity that's in crypto. You got a Bitcoin halving coming up. It's hard to create a bearish narrative into that. I know there's a lot of other things going on. There's Binance, there's USDT, there's always going to be FUD, but that I think is the largest catalyst in the BlackRock ETF. It changes the game. It changes the way people view Bitcoin, and it brings in a lot of money.
So the real number is, out of 576 ETF applications, they've only got rejected on one. So the record is 575-1, BlackRock. So if you think there's a second one, good luck. We have a new Sinner member. Crypto Grady has officially joined. Thank you for the support, my friend. We appreciate it. And Robin?
And also we got a few new people. BC Alf, Giovanni.
Oh my God. Okay,
Mo.
It's Giovanni. He's a from Italy.
Shh, I'm doing my thing here, okay?
No, you got to say
Mo
it right.
Currency. And to all of you, hola! Welcome to Sin City Crypto. If you're new here, say hello so I can drop that hola back at you. Also, we are at about 115 likes. We are about 60 away from
Dropping a nuke.
All right, so we got Jimmy drop a $50 super chat. He says, please hit the like so we can open up the club. Open up the club at 175.
Gala must be up.
60 away. So.
Jimmy, thank you for the support, my friend. We appreciate it. Okay.
Ohio RC says, hey, y'all.
Hola. What's up, Ohio? I've never been to Ohio. Have you ever been to Ohio?
No.
There's no reason for me to go to Ohio. No disrespect to Ohio, just haven't had a reason. Now, guys, let's talk about Robin's favorite project, and that is none other than Shiba Inu.
Love it.
Love it. Guys, let's talk about SHIB. Is SHIB getting ready to absolutely explode? Forrest talked about this last Friday. He put in a long trade. He talked about how Shibarium, the layer 2, the narrative, and guess what? SHIB has been on a tear. If I swap over to the last week, up 20%. Over the last month, up almost 40% for SHIB. Now, Shiba Inu smashes big milestone as epic era unfolds. This is sourced from You Today. Shiba Inu has smashed an astounding milestone as new era unfolds for the ecosystem. The summer of Shibarium has officially kicked off. The big launch of Shibarium mainnet is expected, as is the introduction of Treat, which is a reward token for the SHIB ecosystem. The number of Shiba Inu addresses continues to rise as it sets new records. Shiba Inu, listen to this, has achieved a new milestone with its total number of addresses setting an all-time high of 3.53 million. 3.53 million SHIB addresses. Now, and here's the other crazy part. Close to 70% of them have held on to those tokens for over a year.
How many like regular wage employees, just like the people that are just working every day that bought SHIB back in 2021 when it was all the craze, and then they just never sold it and they're just holding on to it? How big of a percentage is that?
I mean, 70% is a big number, dude.
It is, but I know. But what I'm saying is that I know at least 10 people that have no exposure to crypto other than that they bought SHIB in 2021.
Like Tess?
And then I'm just like, what are you gonna do with it? They're like, I'm just gonna hold it and see if it gets to $1. I'm like, it's not. Okay, sure. And so,
hey, they're burning a lot of tokens here. Okay.
So I don't know. I just think okay. Do you see a scenario where next bull market, SHIB dramatically outperforms Doge and Doge slides down? Let's just say you get the Litecoin effect, right?
I do actually.
Where Doge, just because it's not as new and trendy,
Doge will always be the OG, right?
It will, but I feel like it's.
But I definitely think SHIB can flip it for sure.
Yeah,
I really do. Now, SHIB's price has started moving again, becoming the second highest gainer among the top 100 cryptos over the last 24 hours. And I do have a little background I want to share as far as Shibarium. If you're not familiar with what it is, this is from blockchain.news. Shibarium is a layer 2 built on top of Ethereum. The development of Shibarium is part of the Shiba Inu's project's mission to create a decentralized ecosystem that includes its own blockchain, its own DEX, Shiba Swap, and various tokens, which currently include SHIB, Leash, and Bone, and of course the Treat token that we talked about. Shibarium's primary function is to serve as a platform for building decentralized applications and integrating them into real-world businesses. It is designed to be low-cost and efficient with a focus on burning SHIB tokens in the process to reduce the overall supply and potentially increase the token's value. Now, I know, Robin, you're not a big fan of burning tokens. I know you always laugh at that, but I'm curious to get your take on this, see if anything's changed in your mind. Now, to foster a truly open and inclusive ecosystem, the SHIB team developed an intake system for Shibarium. The system allows anyone interested in building on Shibarium to submit their project for review and support. And I might add, this thing is 100% ran by the community. Shibacals,
You said Shiba.
That's what I'm saying. Okay, look.
Cows?
So, that's what it's
like moo?
Cal.
Oh.
C-A-L.
Okay.
So it's integrating them in real world businesses, right? But are real world businesses gonna take this like seriously? Like
no,
Shibarium
the only businesses using it is like extra degens in the crypto space, bro.
So Shibacals, which is a system for authenticating physical collectibles using NFC
cringe
chips.
word. I don't know why.
These chips can link to dynamic destinations, setting up a myriad of possibilities ideal for businesses. Shibacals represents a significant step forward in bridging the gap between the digital and physical worlds. By using blockchain technology to authenticate physical collectibles, Shibacals is bringing the benefits of decentralization, transparency, and security to their new domain.
As much as I don't understand any of this, I mean, I understand. I understand what the tech is, right? I understand. As much as I don't understand why people will still use it, that I don't understand. But I know that a lot of things I don't understand get market adoption, right? And so I look at it this way. I don't understand how people have a bank account with Starbucks, right? That's essentially what it is. You have the Starbucks. Do you have David, do you have the Starbucks?
Polygon NFT?
No, the where you get to load money up and then you have your Starbucks account. What's that thing called, anyways?
Rewards?
Work card.
It's not the rewards card.
Is it an app?
Yeah, it's literally an app. So it's an app. You have an account, and then you just deposit money into it,
Yes.
and then you can tap payment. I don't know. Every time
Like a
I'm-
gift card thing. Yes, I have
It's not a gift card.
I have
It's,
the
it's
app.
an account. So, anyways,
Starbucks. Just picked up my coffee today. Anyway,
so I was
sorry.
talking to somebody, and they were like literally trying to convince me it was like a bank. They were like, "Well, you just deposit money, and then you pay for it." And then
Are they
you-
registered with the SEC?
And so, and so for me, I don't understand. I'm like, well, why are you transferring money from your bank to the Starbucks app that have them deducted? I was like, does they give you a discount? They're like, no, you're just paying and through their app. I'm like, but you could pay. I was like, well, how do you pay through the app? And they're like, I tap payment. And I'm like, you could do the same thing with your bank. Like,
Yeah.
and
Apple
so
Pay.
I'm just like, this doesn't make any sense to me. Like, why are you doing this extra loop for this payment processing? I mean, that's all it is, right? Instead
It's
of
branding, Robin.
No, you get a spoon with a frappuccino.
But you see what I'm saying is that you're literally paying for Starbucks by transferring money from your bank into an app that operates like a bank. And what I'm saying is that it seems completely unnecessary. I'll put it that way. And
What are you trying to say? You trying to say Shiba
and
is
what,
unnecessary?
what I'm saying is, like, if you want to pay for something with Ethereum, or you want to pay for something with, like, why do you got to go transact with Shiba Inu? Like, why do you got to go take this extra step? Because anybody that offers a purchase of goods with Shib or Shibarium's ecosystem or Bone or whatever, leash, whatever the damn currency it is,
Treat.
whatever it is, whoever's paying for that, you know damn well that platform also receives Ethereum as well. And so why would you sell the Ethereum to go into that ecosystem so that way you can get the treat token and then just pay for it? Like, it seems unnecessary for me, and that's why I pay for cash for my Starbucks.
You know, guys, so Shiba cows. We also have, I'm not kidding.
Stop saying Shiba cows, man.
You know, partnerships. Well, in
Yeah.
the Shiba Inu ecosystem is called partnerships. So there are 3 partnerships. Okay, that's what I'm saying. Like, come on, man.
can't
Like,
right now,
We're over
man.
here talking about like. Anyways,
I mean, does my point?
I understand your point. I'm just like,
serious.
I'm over here trying to talk
Holy
seriously
cow.
about a project and businesses adopting, and I'm over here saying Shiba cows and Shiba treat and bone and leash and dog. Like, come on. Forrest, are you bullish on the Shiba ecosystem? Are you going to be loading up on Shiba Inu tokens?
No, I just look at it as a trade. Like fundamentally, like there's not enough there for me to like be a long-term hodler of Shiba Inu. Just caught the meat of the move already. Maybe it continues to go higher. We'll trade it along the way. Have a little bit of Bone. Bone is going to be used as the gas token for Shibarium, and I'm going to be speculating on some meme coins. Ultimately, look, like, Coinbase's base layer 2 came out, and some meme coins on it blew up. I think Shiba Inu is going to just be a meme coin chain. I think there's a niche. There's enough demand for people degenerates to just go on and trade different meme coins, and they'll maybe the meme coins on the Shibarium chain don't become like top 50 cryptocurrencies, but essentially it just becomes a gambling chain. And it wouldn't surprise me to see that be the case.
But they're talking about real world businesses. Can you imagine having a friend that owns a business and you're pitching them Shibarium and
maybe
Shiba
not,
cows and Shiba partners and partnerships?
That's cool and all. Like, maybe they have success with it. I wish them, like anybody who's trying to do cool stuff with crypto and blockchain
agree.
technology, tip the hat for them. That's awesome. It's not something that I see an immediate need for, or that I would bet on being successful. But more power to them. Let them try. Maybe they have some success there. Maybe they find product market fit. Maybe they don't. What I think the product market fit for Shibarium is, as a layer 2, is a meme coin degen chain. And I think there's actually like quite a lot of demand for that. And people are going to be surprised when the layer 2 launches and some meme coins just explode there.
I think what you said is very important. Our space, there's so many bad actors and scams and rug pulls and BS meme coins and this and that. So I think any projects that are, building open source, onboarding new users, pushing the space forward, we should be rooting for them, whether you have money on it, like in the project or not. Also, I do want to highlight what CritCat said Shiba Cows is about as bad of a name as that wallet from LG named Walletto. Rocco, what is that?
Bacala side effect.
Oh, Rocco, yeah. Shiba Cal side effects, constipation. Just be careful. Guys, we do have a poll in the chat. Are you bullish on SHIB? I will leave it up for another 2 minutes. Let us know. Currently, 54% of you are bullish on SHIB. 46% of you are no. Is it worth a flyer? Is it?
I think it I would say I think that it
Shiba Kadabra.
so I think that there's a decent likelihood of it rallying next bull market. But I can't invest personally. I can't invest in tech like long-term hodl. Here's the thing. If I'm buying now and I'm holding it to the bull market, all the way to the bull market, like that's a long-term investment. Now, whether or not my time horizon is 2 years or it's 6 years, doesn't really matter. It's still a long-term hodl for me at that time horizon. And I just can't subscribe to the idea of getting in on a meme coin and on that time horizon with any like real investment. Now, sure, I could throw in $100, $1,000, whatever it is, or whatever minute percentage of your portfolio would be. I guess that's fine, but even then, I don't know. I just like to diversify in my top favorite projects, 5 to 10 of them, and then just get as much capital as I can in those. And I just don't want to mess with the memes.
Guys, we have breaking news, actually. A new product SHIB is launching. So now on TradingView, you can chart the Shiba Inu token with Fibonacci retracement. Shout out to Jimmy for that. Man, this is fun. All right, so the poll, let's see. 54% said 54% said they are bullish. 45 said no. Again, guys, I'm rooting for people who are pushing our space forward. And where it's going to take us, who knows? We know it's in the hands of the community. We know it's open source. We know it's not a rug pull project. And so, man, you got to root for them, man. It's just, maybe have some better names. All right, let's move on from SHIB to Apt. SHIBapt, and that is Aptos, as they have partnered with Microsoft to focus on intersection of AI and blockchain. This is from Crypto Potato. Aptos Labs has announced, and guys, this news came out about a day or 2 days ago. Just we never got around to it, but it is important still for you to understand what these projects are doing and who they're partnering with and building. Aptos Labs has announced integrating Microsoft Azure OpenAI service into the Layer 1 blockchain. Company said that the integration of Tech Goliath's AI marks a crucial turning point in the Web3 space. The two companies will also explore AI and DeFi innovations, such as asset tokenization, payments, and CBDCs. Aptos Labs will host validator nodes or servers that help secure a blockchain and process transactions on Microsoft's cloud computing platform. Additionally, Aptos plans on employing Microsoft's AI capabilities to introduce Aptos Assistant, which is designed to serve as a digital assistant to address inquiries about the blockchain. Now, if that sounds familiar, guys, Solana did do this with ChatGPT a few short months ago. Now, I'll ask you first, Forrest. Aptos, Microsoft. What are your thoughts on Aptos? What are your thoughts on the partnership, and any general thoughts in general?
Yeah, I'll try to share my screen here, actually. Let's see. As far as I've read, it's a Fugazi. It's not a real partnership. So this is what somebody said, DeFi Squared, who's a pretty respectable trader in the space. Aptos really clicked enroll at no cost and become a partner today and added $1 billion to the market cap. Who knew it was that easy? So this isn't like, apparently it's not like a real partnership. It's not like Microsoft and them, went into a closed room and inked a deal and there's a contract involved and everything. They're just using Microsoft's services and clicked become a partner and joined the cloud partner program. That's my understanding of it. I could be wrong, but they're just using Microsoft services. And I think we've seen most of that pump for Aptos retrace. Obviously the headlines were like Aptos partners with Microsoft, and people probably just hit the buy button, and now it's just they're using their cloud services. So
it's kind of
not Super Bowl, in my opinion.
It's kind of like when all those blockchains are partnering with AWS or Google Cloud. It is I mean, I am reading here, unless the article is incorrect, which Crypto Potato typically has, I haven't run into an issue of false information. Said it's a multi-year partnership, but again, what you said does kind of make sense. But Rob, what are your thoughts on the integration of an AI assistant, kind of like what Solana did with ChatGPT? We understand our space can get very complicated. I mean, we're looking to onboard the masses, and when we sit here and talk, or you try to explain to them decentralization and centralized and staking, it can get confusing.
You think it could be added layer of security? That's my first thought. Is like, hey, I am talking to Microsoft. I know I'm talking to Microsoft, and I know I'm talking to a bot, right? There's no person there that I'm concerned about with my seed phrase or whatever it is. And I mean, I know that people will find exploits in every new direction or new utility that a project offers, but I do think it could close the door on a lot of other things. And so let's just say, hey, I can just, like, say, for instance, if I want some help, let's just say that I want some help participating in some DeFi for some reason. I can either reach out, and I can't do it myself, and I can't find the information. Well, there's option one, which is, I think, pretty risky, is reaching out to somebody you think is a team member for a project, or
right.
and then going that route. Or you can just type it into ChatGPT and say, hey, can you look at Aptos' blockchain? Can you inform me on how I can do some on-chain staking?
Yep.
And there, you don't even go to any website other than the ChatGPT that you already use. And so I think that that's going to become more the norm. And I don't think that companies necessarily need to make those partnerships. I think that, yes, you might have a version of Google, right, where you can find different companies, you can find different websites through a comparable service to Google, but nothing's ever going to stop you from using Google to search, right? And that's what I'm saying, is that, hey, you can use other AI platforms to integrate, but at the end of the day, the most used and the go-to AI platform, I think, is just going to take market adoption. And so I don't think you're going to need to use the plugins on all of these different companies. I think that the main company that we all use as far as AI service is going to take the market, and that's just going to be where we use it anyways. Does that make sense?
It does make sense. For me, I think it's such a great use case and utility and addition. Like I mentioned, right? We talk about, let's bring the masses in. Crypto is going to change the world. It's going to change finance. Guys, we got to admit, it's a little confusing. I know people who've been in the space for a very long time, and they lose money. They do things incorrectly. They try to figure out how to do something, and there's not viable information online. And if you have a trusted AI assistant that is tied into whatever blockchain you're on, whether it's Ethereum, Polkadot, Aptos, I think it's great, because any question you have right then and there, it's like, hey, I want to mint an NFT. How do I do it? How do I set up this MetaMask thing? Or how do I, and that's going to take a lot of people getting scammed, people getting hacked, people feeling confused, and people feeling like this is like, I'm not smart enough to deal in the crypto space. I'm not smart enough to play around in DeFi. I think it's going to help. I think it's great. I think more chains should do it. And I want to add again, Solana was the first one that did that. And so that is part of the reason why I've become more bullish on Solana. I know we're talking about Aptos here, but just how do we break down the barrier to entry for the next 100 billion, 200 or 100 million, 200 million users, 1 billion users in the crypto ecosystem? And I think this definitely is pointing in the right direction. Now, Robin, any new people you want to say hello to?
Yeah, we do have a few new people. We got MT, Vincente, Lanza, Eric JT, and fans. So to all of, and Chucky25 as well. To all of you, hola! Welcome to Sin City Crypto.
Guys, I want to recommend you to go follow Forrest on Twitter at 00Forrest. That's Forrest with 2 R's. Also, subscribe to his YouTube channel where he uploads TA content on there. We did pin the comment in the chat, so make sure to go subscribe, go support our guests. Also, speaking of support, big thank you to supporting of channel sponsor supporter, Cam's Blue Wire Technology. If you want to learn how they can help your business scale, visit bluewiretech.com or click the link in the description of this video. Now, Forrest, anything you want to add before we let you go, my friend? Any big plans for the weekend? Any other trades you're looking to do? I don't know.
Nothing too crazy. Outlined a couple trades here and there on Solana. I'm sending out charts now, like these pre-made charts through my newsletter, which is free. There's like a link in my YouTube description or the description of my live streams. And that's just, to kind of help people out and have these pre-made charts where, they can see the clusters of support and resistance levels. So you don't have to actually go through and do it yourself, and you can get familiar with the charts. But other than that, nothing too crazy. Gonna go have dinner with my wife tonight. But otherwise, no.
Where are you guys
plans.
going?
Just Friday night.
Which
I think
restaurant
it's
you going?
like somebody's. It's one of her coworkers' birthdays. It's like some bar and grill type restaurant.
Okay.
Nothing too crazy.
We know what Robin's doing.
What am I doing? I'm curious.
I can give you 3 things I guarantee he's going to do over the weekend. But I'm not going to go ahead and list those. What we are going to list is our social medias. Go follow us. We're on Twitter at Sin City Crypto 1. Also, Instagram, TikTok. We do have a website now where all the information is on there, including a merch store. Visit sincitycrypto.io where you'll find links to the merch store and a big thank you page to all of our whale members. Speaking of whale members, we have an exciting announcement we're going to give specifically for our whale members. We're going to do that on Monday. And that's all I got. Rocco.
So quick.
Guys, thank you so much for an amazing week. Come back next week. We have Mance Harmon from Hedera joining us on Monday. Then we have Adam Dean, Cardano Dev joining us on Tuesday. 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 Cardano Dev joining us on Tuesday.